welcome to So What'd You Learn, the podcast where we learn from other people's mistakes so you don't have to. I am Alex.
I'm Zach.
I'm Dallas.
And we have a very, very special guest that I'm very excited to have on. My own Pops.
Yes, that would be me, Paul.
Yes.
And I'd already learned something. Wear condoms, because...
Or else you get
here
Alex.
Today. And the jokes start immediately.
Wow, roast mode's starting early here.
Yeah.
Well, I'm number 3, you know. It's like, come on.
Jesus.
Also, my mother is here.
Yes.
Alex,
she doesn't have a
don't
mic.
smoke.
Fuck you, Dad. You don't get to tell me what to do. Ever since you stopped paying for my phone.
I'll ruin my body however I want.
Yeah, so how's everyone's week been so far?
Hot garbage.
Yeah, no good.
Now it's wet garbage.
Yes,
It's
it is.
raining very heavily.
Yeah.
Our heat wave broke here in Seattle. If you're following our episodes canonically, we've had quite a heat wave.
We may or may not upload them in.
I'm aware, but it's going to be funnier if I say that. Canonically.
Yes.
I went to college.
Okay there, Mr. Ivory Tower. How was your week, Dallas?
Oh, it was all right. It was so busy, I couldn't tell you what I did, but it worked.
Those
Fun.
are the best.
I'd have to look at my
worst
work
times.
calendar to remember what the hell happened.
Clearly, time well spent if you
Yeah.
have so many
Or
vivid memories.
Well earned. If he was at work, he got paid. So,
Fair enough.
That's nice.
Well,
Get that money. I just had dental work done.
Ooh, fun.
They ground down one of my teeth.
That sounds
glued
awful.
it to my permanent retainer. Just kidding. They took out all my teeth and replaced them with daggers because I go to a dentist that also specializes
you're
in
talking
alternative
now.
body modifications.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Well,
Dennis has like horns under his skin on his forehead.
well, that way you.
The-
Boys.
Oh yes. He is also bright red, but that's because he goes into the jacuzzi for too long.
It's also he's played by Ron Perlman. All right. Well, do you have some stories for us here?
I got all kind of stories. Mostly are based in fiction.
To protect the guilty.
We got a writer here.
It's hard to tell when they change from fact to a little bit of the fantasy, but
That's called what
I'll
we
try
call
to keep it
lies,
pretty
folks.
Close. Try to keep it close.
And I think I gave you a pretty brief rundown of the format, which is basically like if you learned a life lesson or taught someone one.
I taught one and learned one at the same time, but
Ooh, perfect.
it was a long-term learning. It was over 10 years that it took for me to actually realize I had something to learn about that.
Really?
I mean, that's kind of fun.
This sounds like the perfect story.
The perfect story. So, a long time ago in a land far... No, okay.
Do we have to do the Star
It was a
Wars
kid-
crawl before this?
Yeah, do the roll up. And faster and faster. But,
Sorry to interrupt.
I was working for a small aircraft company here in the Seattle area.
Halliburton.
Rowing.
As a carpenter, as many of us were, in facilities. And so we were remodeling this one warehouse building one day. And my partner and I are up on a scissor lift in full Tyvek suits. Head to toe, Tyvek, gloves, mask, earmuffs, goggles, hood, everything's taped off.
And
It's
Tyvek does not breathe at all.
It does, no, it's a
a-
sweat box.
Yeah.
And so you
And
look
we're
like
doing the
you're
worst job
out on Chernobyl.
the side. We're doing the worst job of this thing, which is the insulating of the walls at full height. You know, it's nasty. We figured we'd volunteer for this because everyone would leave us alone. Nobody messed with it usually, except for Burl. So
Aforementioned Burl.
my partner and I are up at the ceiling, working away, and he nudges me and he motions me to look down. I look down. Here comes Burl into the shop. He's packing his little paper lunch bag and a sandwich bag in his other hand, and he's got that smug smirk on his face that he just he was so arrogant and it was like he was like, grab me.
It's not not quite a shit-eating grin, but more like a I've got a secret. sort of grin.
So I look down and he's taunting us from the floor with this sandwich in the bag, and he's slowly unwrapping it. It's nowhere near lunchtime, so
Yeah.
I'm just looking at him. I look at my partner, and he can't really see what I'm mouthing because we both have masks on. I just motion, put me down, and my partner shakes his head, but foot.
So this is
Aggressively
happening.
pointing at the floor.
Yeah,
Put me the fuck
put me
down.
So he's shaking his head the whole time. So we get to the floor level, and I jump off the lift, and I start ripping off my equipment, and I slam in the headphones, I slam my glass, I slam my mask down, and I'm just walking straight toward the Burl with intensity. And he sees me coming, and he just smiles. And he's a much stronger person than I am. He's not intimidated by me, very much at all. So I get up to him, and he's just about to take his second bite of sandwich. And I see it's peanut butter and something. I might be...
Tuna.
Maybe not so much. He's about to take that second bite, and I just snatch his wrist. And I've got just a death grip on his wrist.
Right, you've got wrist control.
Yes, and we start this wrestling match, and I pull his hand toward my mouth, and then with the sandwich, and I'm going, I've almost got it. And then he would pour it on, and he'd pull it back, and we're just doing this slow motion.
So you have a tug of war with the peanut butter sandwich.
Yeah, it's just going back and forth, and I'd get close to his mouth, I'd just pull it back even harder, and I'd just like this, and I'd get my mouth open, and it'd be about an inch away, and then he would start pulling back again, and he was much. I knew I was not going to win this.
How many times do you think it went back and forth? Three?
Good three times.
The
Okay.
fourth time I finally relented, and I was like, oh man, I can't keep this up, I was like,
You're also wearing Tyvek, which you're just...
yeah.
Which doesn't look good on anyone.
So he gets even a bigger smug smile on his face, and he goes to take that victory bite. I just bat it out of his hand. As a last ditch, I just swipe it out of his hand. It flies about 10 feet across the room.
You bitch slap his sandwich.
I bitch slap his sandwich. And it just goes skittering into the dust, and there's a big...
Plexiglass insulation.
And this is like in construction zone concrete,
Yeah. Well, that's what you want on peanut butter.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I run over and I snatch it up off the floor, and I come over to him, and just with the biggest smile I go, I take this big bite of grit, and I slap it back in his hand, and he goes, I don't want that damn thing, and he just dunks it into the garbage can and storms out. And I go, okay. Win.
And then you spit a screw out of your...
So I go walking back, I pick up my equipment, get back on the lift, and my partner goes, he looked pretty pissed. And I said, well, we'll just have to get over it, I guess. I mean, his peanut butter was mighty gritty, but, I usually put sand
It was
in
crunchy.
mine.
I was going to say, I prefer
It
crunchy
comes out of
peanut
the jar
butter.
that way.
This is beyond crunchy.
But normally I get it jarred
This
first.
is like eating dead clams, where they never quite clean themselves. But it's like
Gritty.
Dead
That's just-
clams?
Clam.
Yeah,
Oh,
like an
God.
unclean clam, yeah.
Yeah, those
I
kinds
just
of-
ate clams right before coming over here.
So you got dental work...
Thanks, Dad.
You got dental work and ate clams?
Yeah,
So,
Fair enough.
as it goes on, that I get transferred out. I was on this seniority dividing line, and every time that fluctuated at all, I get transferred. So I'm out of there, and I didn't run into Burl for like 10 years. And finally, one day, I'm walking through this office space, and here he comes. He's coming approaching me, and he's got that damn smile on his face again. And I go, Burl, how you doing? I haven't seen you. And we shake hands. He goes, man, you are so lucky I didn't run into you sooner. You cost me 10 years of therapy. I wanted to hurt you. I wanted to kill you. He said, and we're in the middle of his office space. I'm just going, what?
Just very casually. Just
And he just like starts to unload. I was going to beat you. I was going to send you dead animals in the mail. I was going to
Jesus.
set fire to your house. But I got therapy.
And I made myself another sandwich. And
Boy, am I glad of that. And we parted ways. I go, well, nice to see you, bro. I was just kind of bewildered at this point. I go, Jesus Christ.
can I get the card for your therapist? Because apparently he's a fucking miracle worker.
So here's the takeaway, man. It's like I learned that you may be funning around, but you don't know what lurks in people's minds and what they may be capable of.
Yes, you never know when you're going to break somebody.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
I had
it's
no
like-
idea. That was even better win.
You're like, I psychologically maimed a motherfucker.
One of the
Christ.
plumbers that watched that whole ordeal happen, he's like, it was years later, I ran into him at one of the other plants, and he goes, that was the funniest day of my life watching you two go at it like that. Like, it's that whole little ordeal over that sandwich. Eh? The end. End of story.
That was a wonderful story.
That's wonderful. One of my favorite stories, everybody.
I go, really? Is it worth a peanut butter sandwich?
It's the principle of it, man.
I mean, it was the last of the Skippy, and you can't get that anywhere.
Except everywhere.
Except everywhere.
That was fun.
All right. See you later.
Well,
Yeah, it's
lay on another one, huh?
well, a couple episodes ago, or maybe in the future, I told a story about you fucking with people at the homeschool homeschool convention.
Oh, that story was great.
With the spell check pens.
Oh, God. That was
And that's when I learned that you can, if you say something with confidence and authority, people will believe
People,
you.
it does help, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know, for example, that 1 out of every 10 unicorns are in fact evil? It's true.
You can tell by the horn.
Exactly.
Is it
The ones
backwards?
that spin to the left. They're
Yeah,
the
yeah.
evil
Well,
ones.
and in Australia, it's the opposite.
Oh, that's right, because they're below the equator.
Right.
And everything on that island is fucking evil.
No, just everything's a murder.
Except for
murder
koalas.
machine. Well, they all have chlamydia, though.
That's true. And they're really, really dumb.
Well, I wasn't planning on. Never mind.
So,
Does that spread to horses and zebras?
I wouldn't know.
That's clopmidia. That's a different disease.
Alex, did you have a thing?
Oh,
Some
I
stuff?
have a brief story. This one time, I was going home from my sister's apartment to my home where I live with my lovely parents, who you have met, and I was scootering. I was on one of those Razor scooters, right? I was like scooting along.
Classic mid-2000s.
Just scooting. And it's probably midnight, and I'm out past my bedtime, which is 8 p.m. I'm kidding, it's not 8 p.m.
Well, you didn't have your warm glass of milk, so,
Exactly.
you were
How am
restless.
I supposed to fall asleep if I don't have my warm glass of fucking milk? God damn it.
Dad, what the fuck?
What the shit is this? So I was scooting along, and I come to an intersection, and I'm a good boy, so I don't jaywalk. I hit the button.
J-Scooter.
J-Scooter, yes. Which, side note, in Seattle we have those bike share programs with the bikes.
Yeah, the lime and whatever, spin or something.
Down in Portland, you can have the scooters.
Same in LA.
Yeah.
LA has the scooters as well.
You know the reason why we don't have the scooters in Seattle?
Because 8 people a year get killed on bicycles?
No, it's because how the law is written. There's no place to legally ride a scooter.
Really? I see
Nice.
people ride them in the bike lanes all the time, those little motorized ones.
Right, but the reason there's not like a municipal a scooter share program is because technically it's illegal to do so. It just says in the bike lane you can ride a bicycle, no scooters, and then on the sidewalk, no scooters.
Skateboards?
People who ride skateboards. People who ride skateboards don't give a fuck about rules, Dad.
Yeah. Skateboarding is not a crime, man.
Last time I was in Kansas City, the first time I experienced those scooters, they had the little Scooty guys and with the app on your phone and everything, turn them on.
Yeah.
And we all went out drinking after this work event, of course, and I was like, well, are they gonna even check? Like, we're just getting shit housed and driving scooters around.
Like you do.
But turns out in Kansas City on a weeknight, there's 0 cars, like negative cars driving around. So
If you're
totally
driving
fine.
a car,
And it was
they
all
take
flat.
it from you.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Midwest.
Exactly. It was amazing. I've never been anywhere like that.
Sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
see why in Seattle the scooter situation might be
I know, we're
a disaster.
terrible.
Yeah. Anyway, so I
Well,
was
that-
scooting along. It was midnight.
Well,
To, like down Skid Row.
they're already picking bikes out of the sound. They don't also want to pick scooters out of it, too.
Oh, right. Scooting along,
Yeah.
just like a little faglet on my scooter.
Jesus.
And
Your word, not mine.
my word, not yours. I can say it whenever I want, okay? My mom's like cringing to death sitting next to me. It's great.
It's kind of fun.
So yeah, I was scooting along, and I'm not a jaywalker, and this is
Or a J scooter.
or a J scooterer. I don't know.
No, you're thinking of Scooter Libby.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. And so I hit the button, and I'm waiting for the light to change. It is midnight, and there's very little traffic, if any. And this van pulls up next to me, and the guy rolls down the window. And he's like, "Do you need a ride?" And I'm like, "No, I'm good."
Just tiny little Alex.
Tiny little Alex.
How old are you? 9, 10,
We'll get
12?
to that. This comes at the end of the party.
Okay.
End of the story. He's like, "Do you need a ride?" I'm like, "No, I'm good." "Are you sure?" "Yeah, thank you, though."
I got Twizzlers.
Just like, "Oh, it's fine. What a nice guy offering a ride." Light changes, and I scoot,
And
away.
I do love a windowless van.
Yeah, you know that. Yeah, I think I've told you this story before,
Nice.
but it was a motherfucking windowless white van, and the guy driving it is an overweight, neck bearded, bespectacled
Describing.
white gentleman who is
Not my father.
not my father. He
Thankfully.
is probably his mid-30s.
I would kill his mom.
Sorry.
Basically,
protect
Dad,
myself.
you don't look like a pedophile.
Oh, thank you.
This guy looked like a pedophile.
He's got the pedophile special van, you know, the one you can get at special order from a catalog.
Right, yeah. And I was just like, I didn't think anything of it, you know, just scooting home. I was like, oh, what a nice guy. It wasn't until like weeks later I was like, oh no.
Wait a minute.
Oh, he was a pedophile. And the reason I didn't catch it when it happened is because I was 20 goddamn years old and had just shaved my beard off, so I didn't like realize I looked like a 12-year-old child.
You've got baby face like I do.
I have baby
yeah.
face, and so I shaved
Actually,
everything
like all
off.
three of us do.
Yeah.
It was yeah. So I learned to that was one of those moments where you're like, oh, maybe I should practice self-awareness.
Well, I'd just be offended that I didn't even get offered candy. What, am I not cute enough for a fucking...
I wanted to pet the damn puppy, okay?
Right?
Turns out it didn't exist. It was just his penis.
No wonder it kept moving under that coat.
Only in one direction, though. Just up and down.
Oh, its tail must be wagging. See, why happy?
I've never seen a dog's tail wag up and down instead of side to side.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
that's a special dog there.
Anyway, that's my yeah. That's.
Well, Paul, do you have another story for us?
Well,
Dig down in the archives.
I have a story, but I
What are you
don't
implying?
remember ever taking anything back from it.
All right.
But I think the guy that I targeted did.
You taught someone a
I
lesson.
taught someone.
All right. That qualifies, yes.
Tell him what he should have learned. If he didn't learn it that way, it's really slow. And so another day, another dollar at work. We were in the shop, and there was one carpenter that was a maintenance carpenter, and I was a facilities carpenter, and it's a very fine gray line there. But this guy was like built into the shop. He had half the shop was virtually his, 18 cabinets, and full height cabinets, just packed with stuff.
He made it his own.
He made it his own.
And
Yes.
taking that's not a good thing.
Except for his chair. When he took breaks, he took his breaks on our side of the shop, and it fit right between these two rollaway toolboxes, right? And that's where he would sit. And it was like one of those standard aircraft company type office chairs, you know, the swivel recliner, old fabric top, you know, vinyl arms on it. And which is important in this, believe me. So
Details are
in
important.
comes this new hire, and he gets assigned to me, and I'm working swing shift, opposite Burl. You know, so
Yes, the illustrious Burl.
let's just Burl. So we go, well, come on in, you know, other new person here, new guy, and you can put your toolbox right here where this chair is, and we take Burl's chair and we roll it over to his side of the shop and say, there, that's fine. The next morning, we come back. The chair is back in its place, and the toolbox is rolled out of the air. I say, oh, wow, I guess we have some resistance here. So I take and move the chair. And
Change is hard, okay?
Yeah, I'll have to learn him up some. So I take.
I'll tell you what you learn.
We take the new guy's toolbox and we screw it to the wall. I mean, we found it, The next morning, back to square one. The box is torn off the wall. The chair is back.
Huh.
And at this point, one of the bosses came down and said, "Would you quit messing with Burl? He's up there in my office whining and complaining about you guys." I go, "Really? I mean, it only makes sense that should be where the toolbox goes. It's the only spot in the shop that's left."
Sure, he's already got half of it
He's got
to
half
himself.
of it. What's the point?
Yes.
What's another 0.5%?
So I said, okay, fine, we won't mess with Burl anymore.
Fine, Burl.
And the new guy goes to work on his project out in the middle of the shop, and I go down to the restroom and get 2 gallons of water and 2 paint cans. When I come back up, and Mr. Anderson, not do nothing. And the new guy goes, "What are you doing?" I said, big shitting grin, "Watch and learn." And I take that chair and I slowly pour in the first gallon of water right into the seat cushion, and it takes it pretty well. I said,
good.
"Wow, it
Doesn't drip? Doesn't
second
leak?
Gallon. It took the whole second gallon of water. Didn't drip one drip.
They don't make them like that
I
anymore.
know. 3 inches of foam rubber,
Highly flammable.
So I
Not anymore.
I go to great lengths to disguise this. I get the heat gun, I dry off the top of the fabric, I throw the sawdust on it in a appropriate pattern. It looks like it hasn't been messed with. And I park the chair against the wall right where it was supposed to be.
So you've created a water balloon in this chair cushion.
It might be a water hazard, but I don't know. We don't really put up warning signs like arrows and flashing lights.
So it's a par 3.
There was a hole in one is what it was. So I come in the next afternoon, and here's one of the other older guys there. He's an ex-Army sergeant, usually really straight-faced and rough and tough, and he likes to intimidate people, which he did to me quite easily.
Because he was like 9 feet tall.
No, he was just
Real G.I. Joe about it.
He would like shout at you until you gave up. So I see him up at the end
Like
of
a fainting goat.
I see him up at the end of the shop where we meet, and he's shaking his head on the armrest on the bench, and I'm still 70, 100 feet away. I come walking up, and he turns to look at me, and he's got tears streaming down his face. He's just like, he looks at me and goes, "Oh man, that was so perfect! You are my hero!" I said, "I came in this morning, and that chair was looking all so innocent, and I just had to wait until Burl comes in and see what happens here, because it was just like, really, you're giving up that easily, Paul?" And he goes, "Burl came in, saw the chair there, started to smile, snapped his newspaper open
like a real asshole,
like a smug asshole, and sat down in the chair and the guy says, "The chair just exploded. It was a vertical shower." It was just like.
So 30 years of fart water shoots into this man's face.
He says he was wet to his neck, and that's when we all just fell out, because we knew he was about to eat something here. And he
sits down with his coffee, his nice newspaper, probably has a Danish.
He thought he had it going on him. And boom, out the door he goes. He went home. Never heard another word about it.
That's impressive. You even made the Arlie Ermy guy crack a smile.
Now, important question. Did the toolbox stay put?
The chair had stayed, but that was fine because I had my say in it.
So ultimately, what'd you learn, or what'd you teach?
Don't be a smug asshole.
There you go.
Really, he was always my favorite target because he was just such a jerk most of the time.
Oh, there's just some people where it's so much fun to get them upset, where they they start screaming, and their voice gets really high, and face look like Yosemite Sam.
I don't normally like getting people upset, but there's a few key people I cannot
Of course,
help.
yeah.
But just bigger.
I know what buttons to push. Easy peasy. That was fun. a lovely tale of revenge.
I guess I learned nothing from that.
I learned how much fun it is.
Our listeners learned something. If you haven't old,
I can make Willie cry.
Well, I had no idea this was a prank, so hey, that's what
right.
I
Yeah.
Oh, what?
That'd be great. I had no idea that you could do that to a chair. So.
Yeah. Who knew?
Probably not
probably not
nowadays.
anymore.
No, not anymore.
They're all harder plastic now.
Yeah.
The foam,
like this.
foam cushions can really hold a lot. I couldn't believe it could hold 2 gallons.
Who knew?
I know. I did.
There you go.
I looked at the jar and see 3 inches of foam rubber on the seat. It's 2 gallons.
Oh, that was fun.
Dear.
I never heard a word about that.
No.
He knows when I got him.
I can't imagine why.
He would not even address me. He would talk to me and stuff, but he was just like,
What did that water smell like?
I mean, it was just water. You just got it from.
But
the
no,
faucet.
it's like 30 years
I
of
just
like
thought that
farts
was sick.
coming up into your face. Just how many people have sat in that chair and like ripped a good like chili fart into it? I'm just saying, that's what I think about when I get into an airplane and your seat cushion can use as a flotation device. It's like, great, I'm clinging to a pillow full of beer farts. That'll be great when I'm flopping around the Atlantic Ocean.
I only have one. Did I ever tell you about the Irish Pringles?
I have to hear
yes,
it now.
but please do.
I did? Oh, okay.
I don't know
So,
this one.
I went to Ireland back in October, and I was gone for about 14, 15 days. So, obviously, took vacation, planned it all out, went there, came back. While I was gone, I ordered a bunch of office pranks off Amazon, like anything that I could find, and it was like wasn't even
Like
sure
the
if I should trust
spring-loaded
them.
like can of snakes and shit like that.
Yeah, just
Classic.
normal classic office prank bullshit to keep myself entertained when I got back. And I got this one thing in the mail, and it was a can of like Pringles, but it was very apparent that it was
off-brand Prungles.
Yeah, Prungles. Yeah, I don't even remember what it. I still have it. I can't remember what it was called, but they were all like pizza flavored Pringles or whatever.
Once you
but
pop,
they
they're
were real
adequate.
edibles.
So
You can have a couple.
poison.
they had
They're fine.
they had fake nutrition facts on the back, so it was like, but the nutrition facts were like salt, artificial flavoring, water,
Fun
oil.
factor.
Like just
random
nonsense.
weird stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And so when I got back from Ireland, everybody was asking me like, "Oh, how'd the trip do?" Blah blah blah. And I won't go into the trip, but it was great. Told
Save
them
it for
about it.
another episode.
Yeah, and
Bone
yeah.
Saves me time when I talk.
Whenever somebody would ask me about how my trip was, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, it was really good. I brought some stuff back. You want any? Let's see what I got. I got some Irish Pringles here. You want this?" And it was like, so people would open it and they'd be like, "Man, it's really hard to open." They finally get it open, and it's a 5 foot long like metallic-y coil snake that would jump out. You know, like the normal
Snake in a can.
Yeah,
But
the classic.
the one poor bastard who opened this up had glasses on, and it hit him right under the glasses, and the glasses went pew and flew like 2 cubicles
was the
away.
spring?
It hurt, man. One time it reflected off their face into my face, like a
So you bought a dangerous, unlicensed Prungles can.
yeah. But if you go to a foreign country, I guess you just say it's Irish
fertile ground
X.
for
Yeah.
It's true.
Prank.
Well, as Americans, we don't know shit about anything, so you could tell pretty much anyone anything.
Yeah.
True.
Irish Pringles. Ooh, then they taste like gravy and
Are they?
sadness.
Do they taste like potatoes and famine?
They were a potato at one point. And one time in college, this isn't even a prank. It was kind of a mean thing my friend did to my roommate. Is just pissed in his laundry detergent.
Oh no! Oh, gross.
Yeah, that's not really a prank. That's just kind of an asshole thing
Yeah.
to do that I didn't stop and now regret.
Yeah, I don't think I ever. The one time, so I had this friend growing up, and he is a very nice guy. His family is not the most mischievous. Let me put it that way.
Straight-laced.
They're very straight-laced. My friend Burl. And
Yeah, illustrious Burl.
Burl gets around.
yeah, Burl.
Burl
his
gets
sister Burlette, and his other sister Burlina. No, but I taught him how to short sheet a bed. because my dad taught me how to short sheet a bed.
Now, explain for the listeners that don't know, what is short sheeting a bed?
Short sheeting a bed. So imagine if you have your entire set of bed linens. You have your fitted sheet, you have your top sheet, you have your comforter or quilt or whatever, right? So to short sheet a bed, you take the top sheet and you tuck it in on the head of the bed so it looks like the fitted sheet.
Oh, okay.
Then you take the bottom end of the top sheet and pull it up so it looks like the top end of the top
and
sheet.
kind of fold it over the comforter so it looks...
Right. So the
devious.
sheet folds over on itself about halfway down the length of your bed.
And that's just a bare mattress.
No,
there's
you
still a
stub
bottom
your.
sheet still there.
Oh, I'm
You're
sorry.
still the bottom sheet, but you stub your feet. You
okay.
can't get your feet into the bed.
You make like a mini bag, like a
yeah,
potato
you're like
chip
trying
bag.
to. It's like you're trying to get into like a weird blanket taco.
It's like
thing.
this is like the world's worst walking taco, because I always eat
Yeah.
chili in bed.
Yes, that's one, disgusting. Two, impressive. So I taught my friend Burl how to short sheet a bed, and his family is very tall. My father's family is very short, so he did it to his sister, and she didn't fucking
realize
notice. Yeah.
She did not know she'd been pranked because her feet didn't reach halfway.
That was the most comfortable sleep I've had in a while. Where'd you get those sheets?
But position, I was like,
when you introduce something like short sheeting a bed to a family that doesn't have a culture of pranking, you've essentially bombed Hiroshima in peacetime. That's
you could cost people 10 years of therapy.
Well, that's only if you eat their peanut butter sandwich.
But yeah, he got in so much trouble for that. It was great.
Well, did he do it to his parents and they just
he did it
freaked out and
he did
beat
it to
him?
his
Or?
sister, and then it was bad. It was a bad time.
Well, I thought when you get in the bed, it like rolls up on you or something. It just like
No,
you
that's
can't-
a cartoon.
So you just can't get in. That's it.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
basically
you
like
can't stretch your feet out.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's like if you're lying on a blanket, right?
How
and then you pull
infuriating.
the bottom of the blanket
Right.
up,
Yeah.
but you're basically just folding
you
over
use
halfway.
sheets?
So you know what we're talking about?
I
It's a
have
good question for a bachelor.
I have the fitted sheet, and then I have a comforter, and then a lighter, softer blanket on top of that.
Okay.
look at
That's
you.
And, but
Yeah, that's
there's
why
a
you don't
reason
understand
to
what
it
we're talking
because
hard to get with that joke.
it would be hard. But the reason I do it is
Add my
because
sheet to my bed.
when I get into bed, I flip my feet up, and then so the blanket wraps around, and then I put my feet back down on the comforter, so it creates a little shield because my cat is dangerous.
Oh, so you like it when you go to
that
a...
with a little round cat toy out there.
I have to hit that and then jump into bed before he notices, so he doesn't chase me in there.
I understand.
There's
When
a
I'm
whole
going,
system.
when I'm going to the bathroom, Bunny chases me around, so I have to like
Oh,
run
yeah.
in and slam the door. And my bunny is like 2 pounds, so
Is he
it's
a
being
toilet
chased.
sniffer?
Your
No.
cat's named Bunny?
No, I have a
Oh,
rabbit.
you have a rabbit. Okay.
Yes. So do you like when you go to a hotel and they tuck the sheets in really, really tight? Because I can't stand that personally. But that sounds like it's your comfort zone.
Well, I mean, it may not look like it in this room, but typically I'm very picky about where my things are and how they go. But when I get to a hotel, I don't care.
Jizz everywhere.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, dude, whatever. Screw it. Try it out. Have a good time.
I even shot a load on the remote when I wasn't cleaning it up.
All the buttons get all sticky and ruined.
I hope nobody want to watch Channel 13, because that's not going to happen.
There is a mother present here. There is a mother present. I may remind you.
Welcome to the pod. I'm gross.
No, I am going to Vegas on Friday, and I'm very much looking forward to my being able to trash my own hotel room for once.
Yeah, I'd live like a true trash person and have
Yes.
someone else clean up for it.
Instead
I'm
of
not debasing you. It's just
No.
that's what we all do.
No, that's the point.
Which is why I always
Cut
wear a
loose.
Tyvek suit before I go into a hotel room.
Now remember,
Well, I
when
don't
go
know
to
if you
a
know,
twin-
but this is the Golden Nugget. It's a high quality establishment.
Oh my god!
I mean,
Just
that's
be sure you
Tyvek
put all
succeeded.
your stuff in the bathtub and then check for bed bugs.
Okay.
I would just take a massive dump and then just call it a golden nugget. It's like, guys, I won the golden nugget. Come in
Wouldn't
and
that
see.
be fun if like the toilet bowl glowed gold every time you took a shit, like it had a sensor?
No.
Wow.
It's a welcome basket. When you check in,
taking
it's
this
got
to a
those
new
pills that turn your shit gold with the glitter.
Oh, my god!
It just looked,
Their entire hotel bar is just Goldschlager.
Oh, it'll come out eventually.
oh god.
Golden Stream.
Well, no, I did pranks at Boy Scouts. You know, we did Camp Nameless.
Parsons?
Yeah, Camp Parsons.
Yeah, I was there too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did pranks at Camp Parsons.
Ah.
We, like,
Did you go to John Knox Boy Scouts?
No.
no.
Oh.
Went to-
No, we went to a real troop.
Throwing some Boy Scout shade.
I actually have a story from Boy Scouts. So when this was about, I was 14 or 15 the first time I went to Camp Parsons, and my dumbass thought it would be a great idea to just, bring a bunch of pot and try and like sneak out in the middle of the night and smoke it all.
Nope.
At Boy Scout camp. Yay.
I mean, I did that with Chew, so I get
I've
it.
seen that attempted.
Yeah. So
The keyword is attempted.
attempted. So I just all I did was put it in my pocket and get on the bus and said goodbye,
Why does
folks.
the canoe smell funny?
Well, see,
Yeah.
but what you didn't realize is that at Camp Parsons that they actually fit you with tracker ankle bracelets. Yeah,
know
so that's
that.
probably why. I mean, you did once you got there, I'm sure. You're just like, what the fuck is this? Oh no, ankle bracelets. Oh,
Yeah,
they can tell when you're out of
so
bed.
yeah,
you
no,
know,
I threw it in my pocket.
shock you.
Yeah, got in there, and me and my buddy were trying to figure out like how we were gonna smoke this pot, like figuring out the schedule when we could sneak
Where
out.
you're gonna
Nobody
get a
would
Coke
catch
can
us.
to smoke it out of.
Yeah, well, we knew how to do the apple thing. You hollow out a pen and chunk two little holes that meet together,
yeah.
and then yeah. So anyway,
Yeah, they don't really have toilet paper tubes. They take those away too.
yeah.
Else take away your belt, but that's a whole other reason.
So my
It's a great time at Parsons.
Yeah, I love that I'm shitting on this camp I've never been to.
The Camp
And-
Parsons is actually pretty great.
I'm
it
sure
was
Bravo.
pretty great, and we stayed in this tent. My buddy Peter, who was in on the whole thing, was staying in the tent with me.
And on the whole pot smoking
Yeah,
thing.
and
that
his
grand
dumbass, his brother and all of his friends were a few years above us, and he's like, "Hey, like, what do you think the best way to like smoke this pot is?" Blah blah blah, and he's like going to talk to
Through
his
the
brothers.
mouth, man. Through the
Yeah,
mouth.
use your mouth.
No, you
Oh,
butt chug
just
it.
eat it. Yeah. Well, so he mouths off to his brother, and I didn't know. His brother told his friends, and so what happened was, I left it in the tent with all my other belongings. We were doing like lunch or whatever fucking thing we're doing, jumping off the pier. I don't know. And we come back to the tent, and my stuff has been rummaged through, and I'm looking through everything, and I'm like, Peter, the pot's gone. Everything else is here, but the pot's gone. And he's like, well, fuck. All right. Well, I did tell my brother about it. He must have said something to somebody else, and I was like, all right, well, we weren't supposed to have it anyway, so let's go about our day. And I just kind of forget about it,
Did they take the apple?
No, there wasn't
Now
an
you
apple
can't have a
yet.
healthy snack.
I wonder if we'll be able to tell who took it.
Yeah. So,
Blaze the guy in the corner.
right.
He's
So-
guy that's really into the campfire.
Since I wasn't supposed to have it anyway, and I was all nervous about it, I just decided to forget about it. And if someone took it, who cares? Whatever, fuck it. So we go about our day, and I think it's about 3 mornings later, we go out to eat breakfast, and we're all walking down there together. And I'm like, "Hey, Peter, where's your brother?" And he's like, "I don't know. I haven't seen Burl and Ted
I love how you
either."
use the name Peter. Like I was expecting you to use Burl for Peter, but no, Peter's Peter.
Peter's
No.
just Peter, and
No,
and I'm like,
Peters.
you know what? I haven't seen them since last night. Okay, and we're trying to put the pieces together. Eventually, we find out Peter's brother and his friends went through our tent, grabbed the pot, tried sneaking out 2 nights later to go smoke it, got caught and sent home.
We merely found these drugs. Really, we stole them.
But yeah,
I swear it's not mine, man.
Yeah, I swear it's not mine, man. That Dallas kid brought it. Oh, so you went through his stuff and stole
you
his
stole
drugs, huh?
Cool.
Yeah, so that's how I got 3 dudes kicked out of Parsons.
And they are now living under Rainier Avenue.
I'm sure they were grounded for months. I didn't inquire.
Right.
One of our most brilliant scouts in our troop, he stole candy bars from Boy Scout A and his group and tried to sell it back to Boy Scout B, also in the group.
Like the world's dumbest
That's an
Ponzi scheme.
entrepreneur.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he kind of got caught with that one too.
Shocker.
I die, yeah.
My prank of Parsons was we
Oh, yeah.
snuck out and we moved. They have this thing called the war canoe, which is this giant canoe that took like 8 people to lift. And we moved it into the fire pit.
I'm having so many flashbacks right now.
Yeah. So yeah, we moved the war canoe from the canoe shed to the fire pit, and then took all the oars and all the life jackets and burned them. No, we set them on around the bleachers of the fire pit, and then in the same night we snuck into the mess hall and stacked all of the tables and benches in a giant tower in front of the front
you guys were
door.
ambitious.
Now, the thing is that we intentionally left all of our neckerchiefs and slides back at the camp. Because we didn't want to drop anything that would
Fall and give you...
identify us,
Yes.
right? So,
I hated the kerchief.
right? So we do this, and then, like, the next day, they're like, yeah, so we know you totally did the war canoe thing, because, we found a neckerchief slide from your troop. And I'm like, bullshit. No, you didn't.
But we've all got them.
But someone either squealed or they were like, someone's out of their campsite in the middle of the night, and we heard activity over by the Troop X123 camp.
They heard you guys doing heavy labor.
Yeah.
That's what they did all week.
Yeah, so we were like, yes, we totally did the war canoe, we're sorry, we put everything back, but we never fessed up to the mess hall because all the people who were working at Parsons were like, well, 2 troops must have been doing shit that night because you can't do all of it. And
One group of children can do this.
Exactly. And so then no one got sleep that night, by the way. But eventually there was one kid from our troop who was working the camp, and we're like, yeah, we totally did the mess hall too. Then he's like, what the fuck? They're like, yeah. He's like, we thought that was 2 different troops.
I wasn't there. I was scoutmaster at the time. So I knew I was going to hear about it. Yeah, I did hear about it. Yeah. So I heard about it from one of the directors. And I went up and I apologized for my troop acting out and pulling a prank like that. He goes, yeah, we got them probably dead rights. No, that's fine.
You got what? What did you say?
We had them dead rights because we found the evidence on them. But we still have not figured out who did the other prank. And I said, well, that's virtually impossible for them to pull that stuff, both of them. Until I'm talking to my son Alex, he goes, yeah, what's all this?
Yeah.
I said, I'm proud of you, son. Said, you guys really did that, both of them? I said, man, you didn't get any sleep at all. I said, yeah, and we were working a sweat the whole time. And, man, we were humping. It's like,
That's cute.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's probably possible that someone was like, I'm gonna bring my neckerchief slide anyway, but it's like we were like, don't bring your neckerchief.
Why did you guys? Why was that even a consideration? I would think you would want. No. Why would you
all
even
troops
like?
have their own matching.
But no, why would you even bother? They're doing this in the middle of the night. Why would you even bother getting uniformed up?
Well,
Like I would
who
put
gets
on
out
all
of
black.
They never get out of the uniform.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
hardly
They
get out of
only
uniform.
You have
uniform,
one change of clothes that you come in,
Oh,
and you
okay,
don't
so-
ever change your clothes.
See, I don't know this.
Yeah,
At my Boy Scout
You
camp,
get like
we-
2 pairs of shorts, and then
Okay,
you have
yeah,
your-
well,
it's
it
a
was,
You
button-up.
can take as
actually.
many fresh underwear as you want because only
Yeah.
one will be used.
Of course,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, I was 14 years old. I remember.
disgusting.
It's true.
Yes.
Yep. No showers, no new pants.
Yeah.
When on a previous outing, I was driving Boy Scouts home from wherever we were up in, the pass, and I'm summer camp's coming up, and I'm kind of fishing for what they're thinking about pulling pranks on. What type of things. I go, so what do you guys got going? What are you thinking about pulling pranks? He goes, well, we're gonna build a fire on the front porch of the. No, time out.
Oh no, that's bad.
You can't burn anything down. Okay, try again. Okay, well, we were going to break up all this glass and put it out. No, time out. Damn it,
I have
you
this
guys.
brick, and I'm good.
Yeah, everything they had going were like just these horrendous.
Okay, no, listen.
Smashing.
Two words. Molotov cocktails.
It's good enough for the Russians. It's good enough for the Boy Scouts.
I just couldn't believe these things that they were actually thinking were good ideas. I go, no, it's not a prank. That's being destructive.
That's
Arson.
called arson. Yeah.
Can't be dangerous. Can't be hurtful. Can't damage the property. I mean, it's got to be,
It's kind of fun.
Funny. Yeah. I go, what do you guys? I'm glad I asked.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And there was the one year you brought the hydrocaster.
The hydrocaster.
What, pray tell, is a hydrocaster?
Oh, the hydrocaster is a nondescript, watertight box. Just some generic. I had a label maker. I had put hydrocaster. Read instructions before opening, and it's about a 3-gallon box, maybe 4.
It's like a steel. It's like a
It's
steel
just
military
a box,
looking.
Yeah.
Like ammo
Like a
box.
footlocker.
Yeah.
Only a little bit smaller than that. You know?
I see.
But on the inside is a paddle wheel on a rubber band. And so it says read instructions before opening. So it's quite clear that,
Place face directly in front of you.
and that thing, you set it down, and it's just a gray box hydrocaster. Gotta know. So,
Try it out.
And you hear this, and everybody screams, and it gets really quiet. And you go, well, they found it, all right.
Oh, yeah, that was a hydrocaster.
And now it's gone. Like I said, you can assume that it has been moved at this point. Because then on the inside of the lid is rewinding it up how to do that.
Oh, that's fun.
So it has a water line. Fill to here, wind it down.
Oh, so you can set your own. You got, so get someone else.
Yeah, exactly.
What
It's the
happens-
gift that keeps on giving and
yeah.
giving and giving.
Yeah, it does. So then they go back to camp, and they're holding boys in front of them. And they're just, okay, you open it. And it's just like strong on them.
Kids, if you want to waterboard somebody, there's a urinal.
My favorite Boy Scout thing, I can't even remember. This was like really early on. But we all went over and essentially we went in the room, and there's just all these like tools laid out, and like a bunch of tin foil and like boxes and batteries. I'm like, what the hell are we gonna do with all this?
Mischief.
And so we had these instructions. We all had to put together this box. So essentially, we wrapped the box in aluminum foil, and then there was like some wires involved and a battery. So whenever you opened the lid of the box, it would shock you with the
kind of fun.
6-volt or 9-volt,
9-volt probably
9-volt battery. And so what I did is I took my box home, and I got a new battery, and then I wrapped
car
it.
battery in it.
I wrapped it in Christmas paper, and then I gave it to my sister for Christmas.
Oh, Jesus.
And I got wrecked.
So
verbally.
there's no Christmas for Dallas that year.
Yeah. It was one of those, it's Christmas Eve, let's all open one gift.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And I was probably about 12 or 11 at the time.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
If you ever do something like this again, you're not getting anything for Christmas. My sister was crying. It was great.
Jesus.
Then you do the other thing where you're like, here, hold my hand for a second, and you'd open the box a bunch and like zap them.
That's what we call transference.
Yeah, it wasn't as strong, and it hurt.
I was helping her with her homework.
I learned about transference the other day when I got tired of the vacuum cleaner at work shocking me. So I just learned to hold on to the metal shelving unit
There you go.
while I vacuum.
Life hack.
Not just get a new vacuum. Just
Well, no, it's not the vacuum's fault. It had a rough childhood.
It got dropped down the stairs.
No, it's the brush setting. It builds up static electricity on the room, so
yeah.
it's not like the vacuum is not a goddamn death trap.
Yeah, it's not like shooting out
That's what I
sparks.
It's not shooting up
You would
sparks.
think they would have thought of that.
I
Carbon plastic bristles. What?
right?
Yeah,
What?
it's like, let's light up the cat. Watch this.
Hey, some cats like to be vacuumed. You know?
my cat likes to be brushed, but
Todd's
that's pretty
dog
normal.
likes to be shocked. I mean, he's like that blue snap. Oh, the dog just loves it.
What the fuck?
I know. It's like dog's like
You've
do
gotta-
it again. Zap.
It's a dog that's into BDSM.
It's Easton, technically.
Oh, excuse me.
So what the fuck? And secondly,
Right on the
how How is he just like rubbing his shoes on the carpet and shocking the dog, or is
Yeah, just whatever. If you can draw a charge.
Just holding the bug zapper and
Yeah.
here, Sparky?
Why do you call him Sparky? You get your dog's hair to stand up just like that.
It's like that time your sister didn't believe that the electric bug rackets actually had a charge.
When the bug rackets first came out, they were like $20, you know, and I had to have one.
of course,
So I bought one and took it to the family barbecue. And I'm showing it off to all my family around the table. I go, look, here's a new bug zapper racket. It's like, a couple double batteries, a step-up transformer, and you just blow it.
and you have instant death in your hand.
Right out there. And my sister doesn't believe me. She's going, yeah, right. I go, uh-oh. We have a non-believer here. And I say, it's true. It's true. You just have a step-up transformer. And because, but how do they do that with just 2 batteries? I go, you know, it's like a transistor radio, you know. There's a lot of voltages and stuff going on in there, you know. And you can do that. You get a lot of voltage, no amperage, and that's what pops them, you know, get on that grid. She goes, yeah, show me. And she holds out her finger. And she's right across the table from me, and I'm going, oh, be good, Paul, be good. Be good.
Don't take the bait.
Be good, don't take the bait. I took
the bait.
I took the bait halfway. I said, I'll hold it here. You come to me.
There you go.
So you willfully get touched by the thing. And she did not even touch it. I mean, she got within like half an inch of it, and it jumped.
Yeah, no,
and
they got the arc.
It was a blue spark, and her arm snapped back, and she cussed a blue line, and she was just really upset.
Cranky.
She was still cursing an hour later and shaking her hand. My finger's still numb, damn it. I said, I told you so. I said, you know, one time, you know, BSing all my life like the rest of the family, and this time you chose not to believe me. I mean, what are the chances, you know?
Think about it with a digit numb. At least you can get the beer at the bottom of the cooler. I did you a favor.
I told her too. I said, I'm not BSing. I'm not bullshitting. And my dad's over there. He's just waiting to see this.
just chuckling like Hank Hill.
Oh yeah. Go ahead, touch it. Go ahead, touch it. Touch it. Go ahead.
So yeah,
I think that's about good for today. Thank you for coming over so much
Thanks,
and the
Dad.
great stories.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, those were hilarious. That was fun.
and you'll be back.
You'll be back.
Stay tuned.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Whenever you want, because it's
Whenever
a fucking
you want.
podcast.
Because we recorded these probably months ago.
Yeah.
Are we off?
Not yet.
We're still recording. So
Yeah, you can follow us on So What'd You Learn, and that's So WDY Learn on Twitter and Instagram. And we also have an email, same thing, So What'd You Learn? So WDY Learn at gmail.com, where you can send us stories that you'd like us to read or
perform.
Yeah. No, and you can have anybody you want tell the story or perform it, or we can do voices. I could talk like Hank Hill if you want. Anything
And
you
I
want
can read
within
it in
reason.
the voice of Elmo if he had a traumatic brain injury.
We also have SpongeBob in the house.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, and you can remain anonymous also if you don't want to if you want Burl to tell your story.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, you can follow me on Twitter at Zach Kowalski. Don't have any shows lined up right now, but when I do, I will tweet them out.
And I don't do the social media because the new church I have joined tells me it's a sin.
Amen.
Yes, the Church of Facebookia.
See you next time.
You can't catch me either. If you do find me, send me home.
You can find me home. Don't fucking find me at home. Bye, everybody. We love you.
Bye. The So What Did You Learn podcast is brought to you by the So What Did You Learn network. Theme written and recorded by Jacob Rose. Our logo was designed by Stevie Van Bronckhorst. Further work of hers can be found at stevievanb.com.